Ryan, you look handsome in that jacket. I just needed to tell you that.
Zip it up when you're done, Chief. We got a podcast to do.
I can't compliment.
No, absolutely not. Definitely
Absolutely
cannot.
not. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another rendition of the Pros and the Berg podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Ryan Doyle. I'm joined by my other co-host today, the man looking down from the camera, Mr. Robert Bergstone, and the other redhead in the frame. That's my younger brother. He's the executive producer of this show. He's the man who makes things run. For our listeners that potentially don't know how worthless I am, he did send me a text about an hour before the show asking if I could complete just 3 simple tasks for this podcast, and I only did 2.
That's not. That's better than
more than I did last week.
Better than usual.
I would like to.
It was not an
audit
hour.
that
We don't
statement.
have to.
It was 5 hours ago, not 1 hour ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it sound super last minute. Absolutely wasn't. No, he gave me, a good amount of time. But this is the Bros and the Berg podcast. We appreciate you returning to listen. If you are familiar with our content, or if you're new, thanks for stopping in. Maybe you saw us on TikTok, Instagram, whatever it may be. Please like, follow, subscribe, do all the things so we can keep showing up on your feed. Connor, what are we starting with today?
Well, Ryan, it's almost November. You know, today was the first day in a long time in Texas. It actually felt like there was a crisp kind of wind in the air, and it actually felt like the fall season. And I always associate the fall season with some good old-fashioned football. And so we're going to start off with some college football here. Going to go through our Week 9 review as always. A few of the ranked matchups from this past weekend we're going to talk about. Like I would say 1 to 4 exciting games, and kind of the rest of the weekend I felt was kind of, not much really to talk about. We'll talk about some of the biggest ones here. Gentlemen, I'm going to talk about the SEC matchup first, one that I think a lot of people were really, really looking forward to this past weekend. We're going to talk about the Missouri Tigers visiting the Vanderbilt Commodores, a 15 versus 10 ranked matchup. Vanderbilt came on top 17-10. And
Jesus.
Vanderbilt came out on top.
There it is.
Christ, brother.
And an affair that I think was lower scoring than some people anticipated, I would say 17-10. I think some people expected some more points to be on board. I mean, it was only 3-3 at halftime, so a lot of people expected more offense in this game. Gentlemen, what did we see in this game and this resounding victory for the Commodores?
Resounding is saying a lot. There was a Hail Mary at the end of this game that Missouri came about a half yard short of tying this thing.
Crazy.
It's a good win for Vandy. It's the type of win that really good teams pull out, especially, against another ranked team. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that Vandy wins this game if Bo Prabula does not get hurt.
Correct.
It was definitely one of those games that I think Missouri more so lost the game than Vanderbilt won it. You have that 4th and 1 where Prabula gets hurt and they don't score. There's another chip shot field goal that they doinked and didn't make. It's a good win for Vandy, but I think it's one that they are very happy to have escaped with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mizzou's got to be just kicking themselves going into Nashville College game day and just not executing the small stuff. Even when losing your quarterback, to have like a chance to still win that game and coming up a yard short, you look back at all the things you could have done differently. I know that's got to be tough for sure. Shout out the Doors, man. I mean, they're in the top 10. They got a date with the old UT Longhorns this upcoming weekend. I mean, this is one of the best times to be a Vandy fan. So you gotta be excited for them.
I mean, it's like the only good time to be a Vandy fan. They're not.
Hey, baseball season, baby. They're usually
you're right.
It's great to be a Vandy fan.
That's a good point.
I think Vandy just has to beat Texas this weekend, and you might be able to say the Commodores are a lock for the college football playoff.
Crazy. That is
their
crazy.
Their schedule after that, I think, so their schedule after that, they have Auburn at home, Kentucky at home, Tennessee on the road. I kind of think 10-2 Vandy gets in.
Yeah. I think
more than likely a loss at Tennessee and a loss at Alabama. Mm-hmm. I think you get in, which is crazy. So big game for the Commodores.
Still got 3 more wins, man. I mean, nothing is great.
True.
Nothing is taken for granted.
Absolutely. Moving over to another SEC match I'm going to talk about quickly, the Ole Miss Rebels at the Oklahoma Sooners, an 8 versus 13 matchup. Ole Miss, the higher seed, coming out on top here, 34-26. John Mateer looking really rough after his return from injury. Obviously, you kind of saw it in the matchup against Texas. And I didn't really feel like he improved a whole lot here. I think Trinidad Chambliss played a pretty solid game, coming out on top by 8. I think Ole Miss is also one of those teams in the SEC you got to watch.
Yeah, Mateer looked poop diarrhea, if I could be so eloquent in my speaking. Chambliss didn't have as great of a game as he did last week against Georgia. I think he did enough for the Rebels to come out by a touchdown. Honestly, neither of these offenses really impressed me. It's like, so if you look at the box score, you think potentially a little bit more exciting happened with 60 points. It really wasn't that exciting. I don't know how all these points got on the board, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Oklahoma also got shut down running the ball, and really the only reason that their stats kind of look okay, they ran for 136 yards. Xavier Robinson had one carry that went for 65 yards and a touchdown. And that is half of your rushing yards on the day right there.
Yeah.
When with Mateer not playing, as well as I think Oklahoma fans had hoped or how he had before the injury, it's not a winning recipe for the Sooners. So
yeah. So
shout out all those guys who placed early season Mateer Heisman bets. That's tough.
You got
baited.
Oklahoma's already bowl eligible though, so there's something.
When does Brent Venables end up on the hot seat? We've seen the SEC has not been afraid to fire coaches so far this year, and they have 3 more straight ranked matchups. Man,
Oklahoma State started a trend. We started a trend where like, this guy's been here forever. We don't care how much we got to pay him. You're out. And everybody else followed.
That shows how much money is in college football. It's disgusting.
It's
Venables has to lose the next 3 games for his seat to be like hot.
I think if they go
shits the bed, I don't think they can fire him this season.
He got hired at the same time as Brian Kelly and Billy Napier. They all got hired at the same time.
That doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah, that also doesn't make
sense. Are we sure?
Either.
Yes, because there's a big talking point this offseason of, which of those coaches is the most likely to be on the hot seat this year. And as it turns out, they're all on the hot seat this year.
It's a bit.
Kelly's been there for like 10 plus years. That's crazy.
No, he's not been there that long.
See, but Venables took a $1 million pay cut this year. Fun fact. Extended to 2029 with an average annual value of over $8.5 million, but includes a $1 million pay cut. The buyout remains substantial at approximately $35 million, which isn't substantial compared to some of these other coaches. If he is fired without cause in the year of 2025.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of with Ryan. I feel like they're going to have to be a little bit like worse in order.
I think if they go 7-5, he's gone. I really do. I think if they lose 3 of the next 4, it's 7-5 at Oklahoma. I think he's gone.
Losing to Texas definitely doesn't help, right? Yeah, if you beat Texas, you can get away with a lot of shit as an OU coach.
Have they beaten Texas since he's
I was looking that up as we speak.
Yes, I think so. In 2023, that would have been his first year, if I'm not mistaken, first or second year.
Yeah. All right, talking about the last ranked matchup from this past weekend, and then we'll go through a few other games. Texas A&M putting the belt to LSU's ass, resulting in the firing of Brian Kelly. Robbie, you're applauding there. I'd love to hear what you got to say about this one.
Brian Kelly's so ass, it's not even funny. And not only is he not a very good football coach, he's also not a very good human being on top of that. I said it before the season, I think there's plenty of talent on this LSU roster. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But, we see these teams that are over-reliant on the transfer portal. They don't really come together and mesh. And then you have a coach in Brian Kelly who have never felt like is really going to build that team cohesion. Like at Notre Dame, they had some good years, but like we've talked about many times, not like Notre Dame's schedule is ever crazy. And I mean, with LSU, when you're in the SEC, you got to come in and week out, and they didn't do that. So I'm kind of upset it happened before the Alabama game. I'm a little worried they're going to play fired up next weekend. But none of the LSU fans responded when I went back into our comments about them giving the
crazy how that works.
3 games before Tuscaloosa. So
That's crazy.
It is what
That
it
was a
is.
good prediction. That was a great prediction.
Yeah.
Ryan, anything of note to add here?
Yeah, I excuse me. I was one of the unlucky souls to pick the LSU Tigers last weekend, and I think I said last podcast it was very much a stoppable force versus a movable object.
Yeah.
It was in A&M is inevitably going to lose a game they shouldn't lose,
Probably.
and LSU blows. So I really wasn't. I took a shot in the dark, but yeah, this LSU team looked just so uninspired, and echo all of Robbie's points. I know we've touched on it. Nussmeier's ass. The offense is just poop diarrhea once again.
Yeah.
A lot of poop diarrhea going around.
Lot of poop diarrhea. So, but it's crazy. You got OSU longtime coach gone, Penn State longtime coach gone, BK only been there 2 or 3 years, but like with a hefty ass buyout gone. Like
Billy Napier.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see. I can understand it a little bit more in the NFL to have coaches that have a little like shorter shelf lives. I just like in college, there's so much more about like the culture of the team and the school.
But part of it now is because like the argument for that was always there's so much money in the NFL that it makes sense for them to have a short leash. There's a lot of money going into college athletics these days. And those boosters, if they're donating all this money to build the best roster in the transfer portal or the best recruiting classes year in and year out, and you're not performing, I think you're only going to see those leashes get shorter and shorter. You have to come out and prove that you're a good investment because at the end of the day, you are investing in the coach by building these rosters out.
Yeah, it's a business for sure. Which I totally get. It's just, it's not college football anymore. It's just the minor leagues of the
minor
NFL.
league football. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, obviously, we tend to spend a lot of time on college football. So I'm just going to address a few more quickly outside of the ranked matchups. Obviously, we've got to talk about gentlemen coming out on top by 7 points. Congratulations with the win over the Gamecocks, Alabama.
Never a doubt.
29-22.
Was puckered.
Lenore Sellers, what'd you see from your boy here, Robbie? Because that's
him.
your guy.
I mean, he is
that's
him,
your guy.
and he needs help. Like he needs so much help.
Yeah, he's an athlete, dude. I mean, it is crazy.
It's shades of Cam Newton watching him run the ball. Like you can't tackle him really. Like you're just kind of hoping he falls over eventually because you're not taking him down with one guy. No, I mean he played a great game. I've been saying it all year. There was a trap game. I'm glad that we didn't lose that one.
Almost
would have lost that game last year, 100%. Glad to get out of Columbia with a win. That's the important thing.
What do you think the difference was and why this team versus the team last year? Is it Ty Simpson as the coach? What is it this year?
Because this team isn't Sherman soft. Last year they were so soft.
They had a bunch of divas.
And I don't know if that was the leadership on last year's team or what. But I mean, as soon as they got punched in the mouth, you look at that Oklahoma game. There's no reason to lose that Oklahoma team. They got punched in the mouth first, and they just said, "Oh well, we're done." I think that's the biggest difference.
Forgot about that Oklahoma game last year. That was
that was tough. That was tough.
Oh, I was so angry the entire time.
I remember you texted. You were like,
Shout out Sellers for selling. Minute and a half left, fumbling, putting the ball on the turf. That's just a tough way to lose if you're a South Carolina fan.
Is it his fault or is it the students who came down to storm the field?
True.
Because I think that's important. They came down, were trying to storm the field, like, we have the ball, a minute and a half left, tie game, kick the field goal, we can storm the field. And then he fumbles. I think you got to put a little bit of that on the students. Not going to lie.
They blew their load.
They blew their load too early. We've all been there. I
do like the student section's name, the Cockpit. I find that fucking hysterical.
They played Sandstorm 9 times during the game.
Jeez.
Tough.
Crazy.
Just for people that might not be familiar with the South Carolina schedule this year, definitely one of the hardest in the country. They started with Virginia Tech, played South Carolina State. First SEC game was against Vandy, where they got bell to ass. Then they went to Mizzou, lost by a touchdown. Then they beat Kentucky. Then these next 5 games at LSU, loss. Home against Oklahoma, loss. Home against Alabama, loss. Now they get to travel to Ole Miss and then A&M back to back.
Good Lord.
Like, that's an absolute gauntlet. I don't want to hear anything from the Big Ten talking about, strength of schedule and week in, week out.
And some NFL team is going to get Lenore Sellers in like the 20 to 30 range because South Carolina is going to have a terrible record at the end of this year. And that's going to be a huge pickup. We're looking, right in that range where you get like a Lamar Jackson coming through. Something
And you're not even going to
that.
see him in a bowl game because South Carolina won't be bowl eligible.
Correct. It's going to be nice and healthy. And healthy.
I was about to say, I think the Lamar thing is a good comparison. Lamar was picked 32 overall because Louisville.
But he was a Heisman winner. I think it was a little different.
But I think physical profile, if you're looking, Lenore Sellers' physical profile wise is a higher prospect than Lamar Jackson. I can say he's a better football player, but just the physical profile is better than what Lamar had coming out of college.
I would also we can move off this game, but I would circle if you're looking at the South Carolina schedule. Last game of the year, always against Clemson. I don't know what it is historically, but if a team plays a really tough regular season and just gets whooped on, that rivalry game at the end of the year, they always seem to pull some magic out of the hat. I've seen it with Oklahoma State like numerous times. Mm-hmm. So, watch that one. Pick the Cox against Clemson.
Could we have a Cox versus Clemson showdown to be bowl eligible?
Oh, that would print.
The beginning of the year, you might have thought it might have been a college football playoff elimination game, but instead, they both have 3 wins that might not be
Robbie,
eligible.
Nobody thought South Carolina was going to the college football playoff.
Okay,
I was not the only one that said they were dark horse.
You can go look at the other end. You were like such a cock glazer that I didn't want to be a cock glazer.
I've been a cock glazer for so many years
just
now.
Bleeping that whole section.
One time the glaze is going to work out, and they're going to blow their load and make the college playoff. Anyways,
all right. All right, I'm going to go through a few more here. I'll rapid fire them. And then at the end, if you guys want to talk about any of them specifically, obviously you want to mention real quick, Virginia barely hanging on an overtime game over North Carolina, 17-16 in the ACC. Shout out them. Robbie is a little excited because Memphis coming out with a big win over South Florida, 34-31.
Should not have won that game. They just shouldn't have won it, but they did.
I can't believe that kid missed the kick. I felt so bad for him to tie it going into overtime. And then I want to quickly mention Texas and another nail biter at the end going into overtime against Mississippi State, who keeps losing by like 1 score in overtime. It feels so bad for Mississippi State. Texas 45-38 there. And then Houston technically upset number 24 ranked Arizona State 24.
Great Superdog pick.
Thank
we
you.
said we didn't like it, and it panned out. So
absolutely,
the Big 12 is just so.
It's the worst.
It's so gross.
It's the worst. Yeah. But in terms of everything that I wanted to mention, those were the biggest matchups of this past weekend.
I would like to mention the Michigan versus Michigan State game. Michigan did come out on top 31-20 in there. And then Kansas State versus Kansas for the Sunflower. Kansas State took belt to ass, beat them 42-17.
Which is a little surprising because
there is one other unranked over ranked matchup we haven't mentioned. The Washington Huskies kind of belt to ass on Illinois 42-25.
Yikes. I forgot about
that. Tough for Illinois. No college football playoff for the Illini this year.
Tough. Indiana continues their stretch of just beating up teams. Are they real?
They might be real.
Do I have to admit that Indiana's real now? Is it time?
It feels that way, although they kind of ended up with the normal Penn State 1 game schedule. I guess you could say Illinois
by 10.
But I think that's the one game. I mean, Illinois at the time looked like a big game.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very good.
Yeah.
It's the 1 game schedule. But
for the rest of the year, it's Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin, Purdue.
No, that's very manageable. They're just going undefeated until they run into Ohio State in the conference champion.
Yeah. And Penn State's going to get someone.
They have to.
They're too talented. They're gonna trip someone up. They have both Ohio State and Indiana. At least one of those games is going to be a little spooky for someone.
You have so many dudes playing for transfer portal film that they're 3 and 4,
but there's so much talent on that roster Like they're gonna. I'm gonna say it here. I'm gonna say it. They are going to trip up either Ohio State or Indiana. In the next 2 weeks, one of those teams is going to lose to Penn State.
You heard that here, folks.
You
We
heard
have
it.
to come back.
See what happens.
I still can't believe Penn State is winless in the Big Ten. That's
it's
just
crazy.
so weird.
They're just like Oklahoma State.
Okay, moving on. We're gonna go to the next.
Oklahoma State's also winless in the Big Ten. You know,
They're 0-4 by combined 13 points.
That is awful.
Yeah.
Again, like we said, James Franklin went from beating the number 3 or whatever they were, it was Oregon at the time, to being fired in 15 days.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to move. We're just going to quickly go over the AP poll real quick. This is, I believe, the last week before we get our college football playoff poll next week.
That would be correct.
Which is exciting. Gabe incorrectly mentioned last week that he was like, it's out.
That
We're
was
like, Gabe,
bait.
you're an idiot.
Yeah, baited. Yeah.
Sorry, Gabe. I know you're one of our 3 listeners right now. But to go into some of the AP poll currently, not too much movement. The biggest one, Oklahoma dropping 5 spots after their loss this past weekend. Cincinnati and Michigan moving up 4. And I mean, the top 6 remains completely untouched. Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss. The top 3 being undefeated, Ohio State, Indiana, and A&M. So that's the AP poll update for the week.
The one thing I did notice, Texas A&M picked up a number 1 overall vote from one of these AP poll voters.
I think deserved. I think their resume is equivalent to that of Indiana or Ohio State. Yeah. Actually,
they have one more win. Ohio State's only played 7 games. So
I think you could say that the Oregon and Notre Dame wins are pretty equivalent. They're both on the road. So I know Notre Dame's ranked lower, but still.
I got you.
So we're in week 10, right? So there's no 3-loss teams yet in the AP poll. And the lowest ranked undefeated team is actually BYU, sitting at 10. Do we think the Cougars are too low, too high, or just right?
Too high. They're in the Big 12. The Big 12 is terrible.
All right.
They did this last year too.
They did.
Didn't even make the conference championship game. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Well, we're going to get into our Week 10 preview of college football. So I'm going to swing that over to Robbie for our pick'em as well as our Superdogs.
I hope my phone doesn't die. We're at 4%. We're going to do it fast, boys. All right.
Ryan's all about doing it.
Week 10, 3 ranked matchups, and outside of that, not a lot.
Not a whole lot,
to be honest with you. Not a whole lot. But we're going to start in the ACC. We have the Miami Hurricanes visiting the SMU Mustangs in Dallas. Could be interesting. 2 teams, I think. Miami came out hot, haven't looked great since then. SMU has been very up and down. Lost a weird game to Wake Forest last week. First time SMU had lost an ACC game, by the way, to the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, but an interesting one this week.
So I'll go first here. Obviously, in the past few weeks, especially in the Louisville game, like Carson Beck maybe hasn't looked as much of himself. He was relatively efficient this last week, 189 yards, 21 for 28, 1 touchdown. But SMU, as Robbie just mentioned, because I was looking at some of the games, because I was trying to anticipate what Robbie would choose as our pick'em games earlier today. SMU losing 13-12 to Wake Forest does not give me any vote of confidence, even though they're at home and even though they have 5 wins. I think Miami.
Did you guys see the kick that Wake hit to win the game?
Yes.
They made it, but it still hit the post that the uprights were on. It was incredible. I don't know how you even get to that angle, but it was crazy.
But yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think SMU has it this week. I think Miami will go into Dallas and come out with the win here.
Yeah, I was looking at this game, and obviously that weight game does a lot of puts the brakes on a lot of things. I think 12.5 is a lot of points. It really just depends on what SMU team shows up, man. I think they have enough talent to hang with Miami, and especially since Miami is like, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, they've just not looked like their number 2 self from about a month ago. I will take the Hurricanes, but I definitely think this could be a super dog candidate.
I agree there.
I'm going to agree with both of you here. I don't think SMU quite has it this year. I mean, they've already lost 3 games, lost to Not a bad Wake team, honestly. They've been
No.
pretty solid this year, but again, a game you can't really lose. And crazy, that's their first ACC loss since they joined last year and went 8-0. Kevin Jennings, I think most SMU fans would say has been a little disappointing this year. Hasn't really taken that next step at quarterback for them. So I'm going to agree and take the Mustang or take the Hurricanes on the road here to win this game. That's fair. Next up, the first ranked matchup we're going to pick today in the SEC. The Vanderbilt Commodores visiting the Texas Longhorns in Austin.
Ryan,
Let's go first.
Texas hasn't shown me anything. I mean, they have struggled mightily for the last month, longer than a month, honestly, at this point. Until Texas does something that makes me want to pick them, Vandy continues to show out and win close games. I'm going with the Commodores.
Yeah, I'm going to echo everything Ryan just said, and I will hold my hands up. I apologetically, I have not been a Vanderbilt believer this whole season. I thought they were going to lose to Missouri the week before that. I thought they were going to lose to whoever they were playing. They've sold me. They have finally sold me as, one of the best teams in the SEC. Texas is not one of the best teams in the SEC. I don't care that Vanderbilt is away here. They are the better team, and I think that they will come out on top this weekend.
Not so fast.
I
have the Texas Longhorns here, and what we're going to describe as a vibe pick, fellas. I have no good reason on the field for Texas to win this game, other than the fact it's being played in Austin. And honestly, Vanderbilt didn't look that great last week against a Missouri defense that has played pretty well this year, but still don't think they should be holding you to 17 points if you're this explosive offense that everyone says you are. Arch picked up a little bit last week. I know it was a little bit of a storm back to win the game, but played a little bit better, I think, last week. So in a vibe pick, we're going to take the Longhorns.
I respect it, but not really.
That's fair. Next up, another SEC matchup. We have the Oklahoma Sooners visiting the Tennessee Volunteers at 7:30. I can go first this time.
How do I pick neither of these teams?
Yeah, I hate both of these teams. I really don't like either of them. However, I don't know what happened to Oklahoma since John Mateer got hurt, but it's been nothing good. That's for sure. On the road in Knoxville, I don't know that this is going to be the spot where you turn around the season. So I'm going to take the Volunteers to win this one by 10.
Ryan?
I think home team wins in a matchup like this when you have teams that are on paper very evenly matched. The line opened at 3.5 for the Volunteers. It hasn't moved, which tells me that nobody knows who the hell to pick in this game. I'm going to go with the home team, the Volunteers here.
I really want to hit a not so fast, but not for Oklahoma and not for the Oklahoma that I've seen on the field in the past few weeks. Like John Mateer, specifically this past week against Ole Miss, looked awful. Like some of, I think a little bit, obviously with his throwing hand being injured, like some of his mechanics look a little bit off, but some of the decisions he's making, just like there are mental errors. He is just overthrowing the balls that even when you're injured shouldn't be overthrown. It's some of the fade balls he was throwing for that Ole Miss 2-minute drive was ridiculous. I don't understand what he was doing at the end.
I think bro took the week 4 Heisman to the head and really just is I am the week 4 Heisman, so I have to go win this game for Oklahoma. I think is what happened, honestly.
So I am unfortunately going to agree with you, gentlemen, and pick the Tennessee Volunteers as well.
Next up in a very new Big Ten matchup, the USC Trojans visiting the Nebraska Cornhuskers at 7:30 Eastern time.
Kind of sicko mode.
It's a weird game. I mean, it's two teams that you don't really trust to win the big one at all, at all. So, stoppable force versus movable object. Here coming
part
in here.
2. Yeah,
part 2.
You know what? I'll go first here. Not necessarily a fully educated pick. I will say these are two teams that I'm relatively unfamiliar with this season. I've caught a few of their games here and there, but haven't really, seen too much from either of them on a game tape standpoint. But I do I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going to go with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I think that obviously, Dylan Raiola is a very, very talented player. I think that Lincoln Riley and USC haven't really established themselves enough to where I think they can win a kind of a bigger game on the road. And for me, that's why I'm going to take the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Robbie?
So I was looking at the stats here, fellas. We've talked a lot at length about how bad Nebraska's offensive line is, and more so how bad Dylan Raiola is at avoiding pressure. USC, I can't count that far that fast, but I'm going to say they're in the top 25 for sacks on the year. And just based on that, I don't think that Nebraska can keep Dylan Raiola on his feet long enough to score enough points to beat this USC offense. So I'm going to take the Trojans here. See if they can finally win a big one under Lincoln Riley. Nebraska, all of a sudden, I think I talked about their schedule a lot at the beginning of the year. That big game at Penn State later in the year is not that big of a game anymore. If you can get by USC here, you might still be able to hang around in a college football playoff discussion, but I don't think they get it done. I think USC gets this win and keeps Notre Dame's playoff hopes alive because they need USC to win out, basically.
Respect.
Oh, man. I don't really want to pick this game. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Robbie brought some really good statistics talking about USC's pass rush against the porous Nebraska offensive line. But I will say Emmett Johnson, the running back for Nebraska, is a certified dog. Had 125 yards on the ground and 2 tutties last weekend against Northwestern. Has 900 yards already on the season. This is a tough game. I really don't know who I think will win this game. I think I might just go with Vegas and pick the Trojans, but it's not because of anything.
Not because you feel good about it.
Not because you feel inspired to do that. No.
Exactly.
And then the last ranked matchup of the weekend. One that I don't think a lot of people would have expected to be a ranked matchup at this point in the season. We have the Cincinnati Bearcats visiting the Utah Utes at 10:15 Eastern kick.
Gross.
Little Pac-12, Big 12 after dark for you here.
I think Ryan needs to go first. I think
it's Ryan's turn to go first. I think that is correct. Yep.
Cincinnati lost week 1 and haven't looked back. 7-1. They got game day here. Very strange game day. And I mean, looking at the schedule that we just talked about, not a whole lot of jonesing to go anywhere else. Utah's coming in with 2 losses. Belt to ass against Texas Tech. Lost the Holy War by 3 points. They do get the Bearcats at home. Like you said, really late kick. Line opened at 7.5. It's moved to 10.5. So there's a lot of points. That's a lot of points.
It's too much.
Cincinnati has the advantage in the quarterback. Brendan Sorsby is a dog. 20 touchdowns, 1 pick on the year. Has looked really, really good. But I think that Utah's pass rush, and specifically John Daly with 10 sacks on the season, is going to cause some havoc.
What's John Daly doing out there playing football? For
I know, right? I didn't think he had any eligibility.
He's way too old for that,
especially at Utah. The fuck?
He likes beer too much for that. He really got lost.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Utes. I think their defense is too strong for Cincinnati, and potentially is the best defense that they've played all year. So we'll go with the Utes.
Cincinnati don't know nothing about no Pac-12 after dark. Let me tell you, the Utah Utes do, and the Utah Utes thrive in a late kickoff like this. So just based on that, at home, energy be up from game day, I'll take the Utes here to beat Cincinnati. One of the surprise teams so far this year, so good for them, but Cinderella run-ins here. I got the Utes.
Well, unfortunately, Rob, you stole my thunder. I was also going to mention the late kick and how Cincinnati wasn't prepared for it. But I think we saw it last week, especially, even though that obviously Colorado and Deion Sanders are struggling a little bit this year, I think Utah was taking out some of their frustration after not being able to take the win at the Holy War against BYU. I think they're going to try to continue that. Cincinnati's had some decent wins, but, let's be honest, obviously, and I know Utah's in the same boat, but the Big 12 isn't the best of competition. So really, because I think they're relatively even from a talent perspective, I really think it's just going going to come down to the home advantage for this one. So I'm also going to go with Utah for the weekend.
All right, and that concludes our pick'em. Now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Superdogs. I do have to I forgot to give an update on how we all did last week, Bill. I'm realizing that now. So Gabe started off great, guys. He started off 2-0. We were looking good. Then it fell off in the afternoon. Then all of a sudden, his Superdog was looking really good. And you're like, okay, Mississippi State wins this game. He actually would have passed James if they had won that game.
Tough.
But alas, they did not. He went 2-3 and did not hit the Superdog. So as of right now, James is still in first for our guest pickers. We'll have to figure out the next guest picker to come on. But James is still in first. Last week, I went 4-1. My Superdog covered. Connor went 3-2. His Superdog covered. Ryan went 3-2, and his Superdog won the football game.
Big W.
Is that the second straight week that all of our Superdogs have had minimum covered?
So.
Brother,
we are locked in.
We are locked in. Stupid locked in. Actually, though, if we had played our Superdogs
again, do
we do it this week?
You guys are gonna hate mine.
Yeah,
you're gonna really dislike mine. I'm not gonna lie to you. The current standings, I have 33 points. Ryan is in second with 32 points, and Connor's right behind with 30 points. The Superdogs keeping it all even here. I mean, it's keeping it interesting.
We're way better than these bums on College Game Day. I'll tell you what.
With the Superdogs, especially because we don't even get the 4.5. We have to go
6.5 point
dogs. Come on.
Yeah. Come on.
All right. Who wants to go first? I'm changing mine. I had one written down and then I changed it. I'm going back to the one that I had written down at first. So I can go first if you guys want.
Sure. You did the segment. Let's hear it.
It ties into a prediction I made earlier in this podcast. For me, Penn State is far too talented to be a 20.5 point underdog to Ohio State. I get Ohio State's really good. I get they're the number one team in the country, and they're going to win this football game more than likely. But this is a Penn State team that coming into the season had national championship aspirations, and those I don't think were necessarily unfounded, other than the fact that Drew Aller is kind of buns, but he's not playing it.
True.
So 20.5 is too many points for me. I like Penn State to cover 20.5. It's just way too many points.
Yeah. I'll go next here. Gentlemen, Florida State is still winless in conference.
That was the one I had written down the second time.
On the year.
Oh, we can't. If we all thought it, man, there's no way. There's no way.
I think I've taken the teams that are playing Florida State twice this year as a Superdog, and I think I've been right both times.
Not a bad move.
Third time is a charm. Wake Forest came out with a big win last year, 13-12 over SMU. The spread is 9.5. Even if Florida State wins this game by touchdown, Wake Forest covers. I think Wake Forest is a pretty decent team, 2-2 in conference, 5-2 overall. They got a better record than the Seminoles, so I'm taking Wake Forest. Florida State's buns.
So I had Penn State written down, and I changed it to Wake, and I just went back to Penn State. So I'm right there with you, Connor.
All I have written down is Wake minus 9.5. That's all I did, brother. I mean, it's really quite that simple.
That's crazy.
Oh man,
it still is Thunder, man.
Are you also taking that one, or do you want to change it up?
No, I think I'll change it up. I think I alluded to it in our first. Can I pick a game that we picked?
You can if you want. It just really puts you in the hole if it doesn't pan out.
I think Miami at 12.5 is a lot of points. I think SMU at home is talented enough to hang with them. There's not a ton of other great Superdog lines this week. Unless you want to do some crazy ones like BC is a 4 touchdown dog to Notre Dame.
Nope, don't want to touch that.
No 10-foot pole.
Nope.
Oklahoma State is a 24.5 point dog to Kansas.
Covering and then twice on Sundays. What are you talking
about? So I'll go with SMU here at minus 12.5.
If we had Houston visiting Morgantown, I might like that 13.5 that Houston has, but not at home.
Yeah.
Interesting week this week. But that was funny.
We all thought Wake is. Yeah, I'm sorry, Connor. That's not happening.
We're cooked.
So we're going to move on from the Superdogs into our parlays, and then we're going to talk a little bit of basketball. Going to have a little fun there. But I'll start it off with the parlays since I'm introing the segment here. we talked about it earlier, and I know Robbie's got a gut feeling, but I'm taking the Vanderbilt money line. I'm so confident in them this week. I've been so doubtful.
I don't hate that pick at all. Yeah,
I've been so doubtful the whole season, and I'm just deciding I'm going to buy in. I'm going to buy the stocks while it's high because that's how finance works and everything like that. So I'm getting into Vanderbilt now. I'm taking the money line there. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills are playing this weekend. And I think it's one of the, it's probably maybe the biggest game of the year so far. Definitely. Obviously, when the Chiefs and the Bills play, it's always a huge game, has tons of playoff implications, everything like that. And whenever they play, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are at their peak, and they always play their very best. The over-under is 52.5, which is relatively higher for an NFL over-under. I'm hammering the over. They love scoring points against each other. They love putting up, 30, at least 30 against each other every time they play each other. So I'm going the over there. And then this one's a little scary. I will say, Georgia, Florida, the spread is 7.5. I'm taking Georgia to cover 7.5. I know they're visiting Florida, but I really think there is quite a disparity in terms of the talent level between the two teams. Florida hasn't really shown me a lot this year to prove to me that they can hang around with Georgia as close to 7.5. So I'm going to take Georgia, and then that comes out to plus 719 in total odds.
That's pretty solid, Connor. Also, none of us said the parlays last week. Didn't update on that, but that's not surprising to anyone keeping track at home.
I went 2 for 3, but I didn't.
I can go next. I'm sticking with the formula. It's been close a couple times. I think we forced it a little bit last week on a couple of legs, but I feel good about the legs this week. I feel good about them. So first up, we're going to start in the NHL. These fellas' favorite hockey team, the Dallas Stars, travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning are right around 500 right now. Stars a little bit over that. Stars were plus odds on the road. I'm going to take the Stars money line there. I think the Stars go into Tampa Bay and get it done. One of the best teams in the NHL. So I like the Stars there in that spot. I'm sure we'll talk about when we get to the NFL, but Cam Scattaboo out for the year.
Brutal.
The brutal ankle injury. My man's been scoring a lot of touchdowns lately, and his backup, Tyrone Tracy, was pretty solid last year for those of you paying attention. So I got a Tyrone Tracy anytime touchdown scorer this Sunday.
What are the odds on that leg itself?
That was it was just over plus 100, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't have it broken out by that.
That's low.
And then for my spread in the first half, the Indianapolis Colts travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
Oof.
The Indianapolis Colts might be the best team in football right now based on the way that they're playing. They're only favored by 2.5 in the first half.
Oh, come on now.
Give me Colts minus 2.5 at halftime to finish out this parlay. That's a parlay of plus 708.
Damn, I like Robbie's too. I like both of ours. Ryan, here comes Ryan to tank it all.
Yeah.
Cinema?
Hold on.
I don't like that you're starting with that. I don't like that you're starting with that.
We're going in the NFL.
Okay.
We have a spread, an over, and a cheeky little under because everyone loves betting on unders for the NFL. For the spread, Chargers favored by 8.5, playing the Tennessee Titans. It's bait. It has to be bait, right? The Titans are ass.
Titans are real bad.
They're really bad, yes.
But I'm going to take the Chargers favored there. The Minnesota-Detroit game is Minnesota traveling to Detroit. I have them at the over on 48.5. Minnesota can't stop shit. Detroit scores a lot of points.
What is Minnesota averaging this year?
I just don't.
Who's starting at quarterback for the Vikings? Is it?
McCarthy.
It's JJ McCarthy's back. Oh, that's
he's back.
You're taking a JJ McCarthy over? That is against everything that you know and love.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. We're doing it.
I don't hate it.
They scored 48 points against the Bengals, So
yeah, right.
And then going to the San Francisco New York Giants game, I'm taking the under at 48.5. Still a lot of injuries in San Francisco. Scattaboo just went down. Malik Neighbors is down. Jackson Dart doesn't have necessarily his running back safety blanket. I think it's a lot of points. We're going to take the under in the San Fran game. That comes out to plus 582 for those of you keeping score at home.
So who are we going with? Who? whose parlay are we picking this week?
Say mine or yours, Connors, just because we know Ryan's not hitting. So
that is brutal. What happens if he hits this week, though? What he's
then
due,
I'll
right?
consider it again. Then I'll consider it again.
Yeah.
Ryan, whose parlay do you like better? You have to choose.
I think that's fair. Robbie had the hockey and the Stars one and the Tyrone Tracy. The Tyrone Tracy touchdown does make me a little nervous.
Yeah, that's fair. But Scottaboo scored in 3 straight games, I'm pretty sure. So
we're gonna go with Robbie's because it makes Connor nervous.
Damn it.
It's a good pick. It's a great pick.
I'm actually kind of shocked that out of us three that mine had the longest odds. I'm actually kind of surprised.
We've been reeling it in a little bit because we were like, let's throw it out at plus 1,500 and it didn't typically pan out. So
yeah, it's fair. We are going to now get into a little bit of the NBA, gentlemen. Obviously, we are underway with basketball. The regular season has started, and just wanted to give a kind of a quick look at the top of the league so far. There are currently 3 undefeated teams in the league. The Oklahoma City Thunder at 5-0, starting off their first 2 games of the season, both went into double overtime. Freaky start to the season for the Thunder. Came out on top there. Who's that in the second spot? Oh, that's the Philadelphia 76ers sitting at 4-0. Wow.
Oh, are they the 4-game Eastern Conference champions, much like John Mateer's the Week 4 Heisman? That's pretty incredible, actually.
Crazy.
Damn it. Well, in all fairness, the Chicago Bulls are also undefeated. They're not staying there for very long. They're 3-0. And then the San Antonio Spurs are 4-0. Victor Wembanyama is terrifying. This
is going to be the year that he really took that step, and it's looking like that right now.
He might be the GOAT.
That's crazy.
All right.
I've seen so many TikTok
videos.
Lost me. I've seen so many TikToks where people are like, now I know how Jordan defenders felt when LeBron came into the league because they're like, I'm a LeBron defender. I want to hate Victor Wembanyama so bad because he's so good. Yeah, he's crazy this year. And to address, quickly our favorite teams, Charlotte Hornets at 2-2. We're getting started. 500. That's
just trading wins and losses. Listen, 500 might get you out of the play-in in the Eastern Conference. I'm just saying.
What's going on in Charlotte? People are wondering.
Exactly, and
things are happening.
Certainly better than the Dallas Mavericks, starting at 1-3 near the bottom of the league thus far. Heavens. Only putting up 108 points per game, which I believe is the lowest, second lowest in the league. So we can't score. And that's a lot of fun.
Did you see how many points the Hornets are giving up? 124 a game? It's not great.
Melo isn't on that team to play defense, bro.
Then again, we could be the Brooklyn Nets giving up 130 and a half points a game.
Sicko mode. They are.
It's just you're just not playing defense. That's all-star game defense.
To be fair, they've played the Rockets, Spurs, and Cavs, who are
and
the Hornets who had 136.
I'm going to say, who scored the second most out of all of those? It's the Hornets.
Exactly. I just wanted to give a quick look into the NBA, and we'll provide some updates along the way. But kind of excited to see how this year shakes out. We're not going to do a draft. It has been a long time since we have done a draft, and I felt like, like I said, NBA in the swing of things, just kind of felt like I wanted to do one. So our draft today is going to be NBA focused, and the question essentially around the draft is, if you were starting an NBA franchise, who is your number one pick? So obviously you've got to consider the talent level, you've got to consider the age that they're at, everything like that. Robbie, would you happen to have a wheel that you could spin to select our draft order?
Let me hit the button. You got Ryan, then Robbie, then Connor.
Why am I always the third one?
Because you're a little bitch.
Talk to random.org. I don't know.
Talk to.
Ryan's GM Ryan Doyle is starting off.
I mean, you just got to pick Wemby.
Yeah, that is the correct pick.
I think that's the right pick. Yeah.
It's chalk, but gotta do it.
That's the right pick.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I don't.
He's
think
only
that's
26. He's been in the league for a long time, but he's only 26. And I mean, he's the top 5 player in the league to me.
Yeah.
So
yes,
maybe disrespectful to not take a Shea or someone there, but I'd rather have Luka. So
Luka's younger than Shea, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
actually.
I don't know
That's
how
insane.
Luka is younger than Shea. It feels well. It's also because Luka's been playing since he was 18, or well, like he obviously in Euroball he's playing when he was 16 or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I can't remember how old he was when he got drafted. Yeah, it's also insane that Wembanyama 21. That is, I want to vomit. That is awful. My first pick of the draft. So obviously, I've got a back to back here. I'm gonna go with Paolo Banchero. I think
Good
he's
pick.
an incredibly versatile, obviously forward. He's super. I believe, what is he? 24, and obviously very very young. Has kind of carried that Magic team to where they're at. So I'm gonna go with Paolo there, and then for my turnaround pick, I'm between a few. I got a few guys on this list here. In terms of what we've seen already, and in terms of what I think, I don't necessarily like him as a player as much. I think he's very talented. He's obviously incredible. But I think I would be foolish not to take Anthony Edwards at this spot at 24 years old. Obviously, he has the explosiveness like we've never really seen. So I'm going to take Anthony Edwards there.
I'm going to take another 26-year-old who has won an NBA Finals. He's hurt this year, but that's okay. I'm going to take Jason Tatum. I mean, he's the guy that we've seen lead a team to an NBA championship. So I'm going to take Jason Tatum.
It's a good pick. Ryan's a blender.
Paolo is fucking 22 or whatever.
He's
he is, 21.
Hooper. Yeah, he's so good. He is so good. So yeah, Ryan's second pick here. You don't have to just take young players. It's very
true.
like Robbie's doing. He's kind of taking the slightly. Tatum's a little older, but he's got to. If you're trying to build a team around him, you got to think about that a little bit.
And it might be too early for him. I just like how he plays. I think I'm going to go with Tyrese Maxey.
F you.
Okay.
I hate you. You know how much of a Maxey glazer I am.
Maxey fan. It feels early, but like,
I like it. Great pick.
Dude kind of hoops.
Great pick.
I know we're not the biggest fan of this guy on this podcast, but letting him fall to the third round. Oh, sorry.
Snake.
Sorry. Don't do it.
Snake. Interesting. What was Robbie going to pick?
I think I know.
Clearly Paul George.
I know Robbie's going to pick. I don't want him. He's a bum.
Do I go young? Do I get some like... I don't know. Do I get a little bit of elder help? What do we do here?
Yeah, there's so many different.
That is the thing. Are we like building solely around them, or is this like we're picking like a starting five? Well, that'd be kind of broken. So I feel like
we're
you're
doing like the centerpiece. Like they are the franchise player, kind of. If you were starting, if you had a brand new team, like
the one guy you'd have now. You wouldn't have all five.
No, that would be super team kind of situation.
This is tough, man.
Ryan doesn't know. He's in a blender right now.
I got two right now, so I'm locked in. I don't even care who Ryan picks.
Robbie's so locked. He knows who he's taking.
I think I'm just gonna go with Jokic.
He's a good pick.
He's just kind of old though. Like,
but he's the best basketball player in the world.
You're right. My concern is that he's going to retire in the next 2 years.
That was what I would
older than Giannis.
No, I know, but he doesn't care.
Like, he's only 29, and he looks like he's like at least 36.
Yeah.
Now I can take my guy. We don't really like him on this podcast. However, he just won an MVP, and he's also 27 years old. I'm going to take SGA. Also, again, he just won a championship as the premier option on that team. To me, if I'm building, I want to see someone who's actually won something. So I'm going to take SGA.
So I do like we have relatively varied strategies here. Obviously, Robbie's kind of going for slightly older guys, but obviously the superstars. I think Ryan has a good mix of kind of the younger and older guys. I'm going to stick with my strategy of sticking with the guys who are younger in the league. I'm going with Cade Cunningham. I think Cade Cunningham has emerged as a top 15 to almost top 10 player in the league. He's 24 years old. I think he's kind of dragged that Pistons team to competency. So I'm gonna take Cade Cunningham there, and then on my snake pick, this is where it's a little tough for me. I have a few names on my list.
So Connor, sorry, I'm just trying to update my list. So
yeah.
you have Cade. Who are the other two players?
I have Anthony Edwards and Paolo Banchero are my other two players.
And Rob, who are you at?
I had
Luka
Doncic,
Jason Tatum,
and SGA.
I also was writing it down.
You got a lot of whiners on your team. Holy shit.
Listen, NBA officiating, that's an advantage, and you know it.
God, yeah, I'm struggling a little bit on this last one. Are
we doing 2 more? Are we doing 5?
Yeah, 2 more. So sorry, I meant like the last one before you guys pick. You know what? It's kind of a weird pick, but I think he's got enough talent and makes the guys around him really, really good, in my opinion. I'm gonna go with LaMelo Ball. He's also 24 years old. He's a really, really good shooter. I think LaMelo Ball has a lot of talent, so I'm gonna go there.
Kind of also lost in the sauce right now. I can't even lie to you. I'm gonna kind of stick with my strategy. Actually, still just go a little bit older. We've brought him up a couple of times. I think he still has many years left ahead of him.
LeBron James.
Again, that would be crazy. I'm gonna get Bronny James, and then LeBron comes. No. Again, has also won a championship. Has won MVPs. How old is Giannis? Anyone know?
20, or he's 31.
Is he 31? I still want Giannis. You can still build a team around Giannis and be good for the next 6 or 7 years, I think.
That's fair.
So I'll take Giannis there.
Ryan's got 2 on this snake draft.
So I got the fucking Twin Towers right now, 7-5 and 7-5 Wemby and 7-1 Jokic.
Correct.
I got 6-3 Maxey. I need like a little bit of wing presence.
Well, you don't have. It's just a player that you're building. It doesn't have to be like a cohesive.
I want a starting 5,
but Ryan wants a cohesive.
Ryan is apparently getting all of these guys in our startup draft. I don't know how.
I respect it.
This is tough.
Yeah,
it's a lot of dudes on my mind.
I mean, how's that any different from normal? But yes,
it's a good point.
All right,
yeah, it's a good point. He makes a good point.
All right, I got men on my mind.
Does it feel weird that Ja Morant is only 1 year older than Trae Young is only 1 year older than Ja Morant? I feel like they're more varied in age. But yeah, because I'm looking at a list here of some guys. Zubac is the 37th best player in the NBA. Is he?
Am I fucking nuts to take Brunson?
No, not at all. Brunson was on my
so.
list. Yeah,
Brunson's
a good pick.
He has just shown time and time again how talented he is.
He's him. He is him. And then you got one more to round out your squad of 5. I kind of forgot Lauri Markkanen exists.
Yeah, I saw his name on a list too, and I was like, holy shit.
Forgot about that guy.
Who's that unk?
For real. All right. Who you got, Ryan? Who's your 5th one?
Who's my last one?
Rudy Gobert?
That would go crazy.
I'm gonna go crazy. Last pick for me in the draft. One of the highest ceilings we've seen in the league since LeBron James. We're going with Cooper Flag.
Yeah, not a bad pick.
I thought about him. I just would like to see him play in the NBA first a little bit more. But I did think about him as well.
It's a good pick.
I think there's one more guy that we've disrespected a little bit, letting him go all the way to the 5th round. Has just simply won everywhere that he's been in the NBA. He's a fantastic scorer, fantastic guard in general. Take Donovan Mitchell.
Yep. Good
I mean,
pick.
just a winner so far in his NBA career. So I'll take Donovan Mitchell for my last one.
Made it a little. You gentlemen have made it a little bit tough on me. Do I go with the pick that's probably a better pick, or do I go with the pick that shows that I know ball?
That you know ball. Let them know that you know ball.
Let them know that I know ball. All right, here we go. Indiana Pacers, and it's not who you're thinking. It's not Tyrese Halliburton. Andrew Nembhard is a hooper. Andrew Nembhard is a very good player.
Can I say who?
Pacers.
As Nembhard was probably like third or fourth of like people I would have picked on the Pacers.
Third, or he's 25 years old. I think he's very talented. What
you're kind of you're disrespecting Spicy P, to be honest.
But I'm like, if I'm building a franchise, I want the younger guys. Like that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of.
You're just kind of disrespecting Pascal Siakam like that.
Like isn't he 31? I mean, he's just a little bit old on the older side.
And LeBron is how old and still playing? Come on, he'll be fine.
You made a good point there. Yeah. I like Nembhard here. I think he's a really good player. Obviously, he's been in a little bit of a role player situation the last couple of years with Halliburton and Siakam and everything like that. But I think he's got a lot of talent. He's still pretty young at 25, so I think he'll have a breakout year in this next year or maybe the year after. But yeah, I think you guys got some good lists for.
I think you're smoking crack that you're going Nembhard. This guy averages less than 10 points a game for his career, and that's who we're going with.
He is a hooper. And you just don't know ball.
I think you tried a little too hard.
He shoots 33% from three.
I know too much ball.
I got too much ball.
I got in the Ahmad blender to where I was like,
yeah, you did. You did, unironically.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you guys have.
That you better clip that.
Yeah, of course.
If I'm starting a team, top five guys league to start a team with, Andrew, player. I want Iguodala.
Connor, do you know how many points Andrew Nembhard is averaging so far this year? Again, points are not everything, but like this is pretty startling. He's always averaging 4 points a game.
He went out in the first game, got hurt. So
skillish.
I'm right.
He's
there
warming
with
up.
You, brother.
He's warming up. All right, so that was a fun little NBA departure. So we are going to get back into some football here, talk about the NFL briefly. Robbie, I did want to ask you real quick. The Panthers, big loss to the Buffalo Bills, but 40-9. That's not really what I wanted to speak to you about.
Thank you for bringing that up, though.
Yeah. Well, it does relate. Reportedly, apparently today and yesterday, the Carolina Panthers are heavily considering, or maybe have made the decision to move Rico Dowdle to the starting running back position over Chuba Hubbard. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no shit. I mean, we saw what Rico did when
originally.
I think the thought was Chuba's been great. I mean, he's been a really solid running back kind of the last year and a half. But you just saw Rico Dowdle absolutely tear it up when he had control of that backfield. You have to ride the hot hand.
Yep.
So that's the right decision for sure. I'm not sure that's going to matter in visiting Lambeau this weekend, to be completely honest with you. Being 4-4 and being a 13.5 point dog feels bad.
Come on now.
That feels tough. Bad. But, yeah, Andy Dalton does not have it anymore. Doesn't have it anymore. So
he's a film room backup, and that's okay.
Fine.
That's
fine.
Truly okay. You need dudes like that.
Yep.
Speaking of guys that don't have it anymore, and it breaks my heart. What are the Atlanta Falcons?
Buns.
They are the most confusing team.
Did you not get the memo?
All time.
They're not great.
But you're letting Tua throw the ball throw for 205 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Their wins are just so weird too.
That's what I'm saying.
Bills, Commanders, Vikings is odd.
No, that's the thing with Tua. When you least expect it, he is the most efficient passer in the league. He's going to go 80%, multiple touchdowns, and isn't trying to lead with his head. Tua's ceiling, and you can clip this, Tua's ceiling is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL on any given week.
In one specific week, yes. Over the course of the season, no.
Sure.
And I think purely from a fantasy perspective, I wouldn't say that on any given weekend I'll watch Tua play and be like, you know what? There are not 5 guys I want more than Tua right now. I don't see myself saying
take. I said it was a hot take.
It's a take, that's for sure. No doubt.
Also want to quickly mention just know that we are in as much pain as you are, Robbie, because the Cowboys secondary is not even Swiss cheese anymore.
Diarrhea. I think I've said it enough this podcast. They are poop diarrhea.
Losing to the Broncos 44-24.
You say the secondary is not that good, but like J.K. Dobbins ran for 111 yards.
The whole defense is god awful. I don't know what, Micah Parsons.
Who could have imagined that trading away your best defensive player would result in your defense being really bad?
But even Micah couldn't fix this.
But he would help.
Sure.
He would help.
Right.
But you kind of already knew the defense was going to be bad even with Micah, so you're still going to trade away your best player and make it worse? That's where I think the issue lies.
Hey guys, shocker, when the Baltimore Ravens started Tyler Huntley instead of Cooper Rush, they ended up winning the game.
Yeah, what are we doing, Harbaugh?
What was the decision? Starting Rush ahead of Huntley is actually batshit insane.
Let's start Cooper Rush in an offense designed for Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
That makes sense to me. And
I actually don't understand. I don't understand
crazy.
that. But shout out the Ravens, got to win here. Lamar is back this week, so they're
What's
looking
up with
to
the
get back in the playoff hunt. Yeah.
What do we think about the Bears?
Kind of fine.
I mean, they were just on a 4-game win streak. However, those wins were the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Commanders.
Jadenless Daniels Commanders and the Saints.
Was he in that game? I
think he got knocked out. Was that the game he got knocked out?
I'm not sure.
He's been hurt all fucking year.
He did play in the game, yes, but I think he was coming off injury, and you still only won by 1. The Bears might still make the wild card, though. They might.
Their skill players are incredibly talented. I mean, regardless of what you think of DeAndre Swift, Romo Dunze, obviously you've got the tight end combination in Kmet and Loveland. They've got very talented skill players, and Caleb Williams, when he needs to, can get the ball to them. But yeah, it's just kind of hit or miss.
The Jets scored 39 on the Bengals. What are the Bears gonna do? The Bears haven't scored less than 25 points all season.
Yeah, and speaking of, let's speak about it. The Jets getting their first win of the season at the Cincinnati Bengals, 39-38. Just dejecting if you're a Bengals
Zach
fan.
Taylor's kind of a terrorist. I'm not gonna lie. Bengals fans have been asking for him to get canned for a while now. And one thing the Bengals do is hold on to head coaches. They have had multiple in the last couple stints that have overstayed their welcome. Is it time to make a change? I mean, Joe Flacco's led offense got you 38 points. You should be winning that football game. We just need to get a grip.
It's actually a spectacular point.
It's tough. Unfortunately, I feel like Burrow being hurt probably saves Zach Taylor's job for another year. So you just be like, what do you want me to do? Joe Burrow's not even playing, and my defense sucks because I keep convinced you give all of our money to the offense.
$250 million to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, man.
Ryan, not only 39 points, the Jets had 502 total yards.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Flacco might not go against the Bears. He's got a sprained AC joint, in old man years. That takes double the amount of time to heal.
Dude,
so we might be throwing out Browning again.
Can we give an honorary round of applause to Joe Flacco for just coming in on the Browns last year, the Cincinnati Bengals, and just willing them to actually compete in these games?
Flacco's completed 64% of his passes, 7 touchdowns, hasn't thrown a pick.
See, Joe Flacco's a smart guy. He realized I have Jamar Chase. And if I throw the ball to Jamar Chase 50% of the time, I'm probably going to be in pretty good shape, all things considered.
What was it, 18 targets last week?
Yeah, it's disgusting work. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why Flacco is a good backup, because he has a head. He thinks.
Right.
he's got
this Jamar Chase fellow is pretty good.
It's this fella here.
Who do you think the bottom 2 scoring defenses in the NFL? If you had to take a guess.
Bottom 2 scoring?
Yeah, in terms of points per game allowed.
Oh, points per game allowed.
It's
the Lions?
Is it not the Bengals and the Cowboys?
It is the Bengals and the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Bengals giving up 31.6 points a game. Cowboys giving up 31.3. And then there's one other team giving up over 30 points a game. Any ideas?
Connor, we'll get to that. Connor, do you understand now why I asked why the NFL seems like they're scoring more fucking points this year? Because all I'm watching are two teams that just get into track meets each week.
That's a great point. The Saints.
There are 11 teams giving up over 25 points a game, which is actually kind of crazy.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's a lot of offense.
It is not the Saints. The Saints are only giving up 26.1 points a game.
The Panthers?
Nope. The Panthers are giving up 24 points a game.
The Raiders.
It's the Baltimore Ravens giving up 30 points a game.
Yeah. That is yikes. They are desperate for that defense.
I like Ryan's take they're scoring more points. I think they are. Having that many teams giving up over 25 points a game is kind of nuts, actually.
It's a lot.
Over better is having a great year.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. We're going to look at a little bit of a preview for this next week. So, Ryan and I were talking about it earlier, but it was kind of a sicko game. It's still a little bit of a sicko game, depending on the defense. But Thursday night game, Ravens-Dolphins. Lamar Jackson is back in action, so maybe we'll be a little bit better quality-wise. But
I feel like this would be a fun Thursday night game.
It could be.
It's going to be a lot of points. I think that's the key here. There's going to be a lot of points.
Robbie, you mentioned it earlier. Would you like to kind of make a prediction on the Carolina Panthers visiting the Green Bay Packers this weekend?
I think Bryce Young is playing. I'm not sure. I really actually don't think that it matters because the offensive line is even more hurt than it was previously. Mm-hmm. So Micah Parsons might have like 4 sacks.
Yeah.
I could see the Panthers losing this game by 10 with Bryce, but sure. I'm not confident in that either. So it's going to be kind of gross. Also, it's weird. I was looking at this earlier. So the Panthers are 4-4. And they're playing the Packers that are 5-1-1, and seeing those two records like against each other in the NFL, where theoretically you're only off by 1 game at most, doesn't look right. Like if you look at it next to each other, it doesn't look right. But
a few relatively actually interesting games this weekend, which I feel like a lot of the matchups this year have been kind of whatever in the NFL. But obviously, as teams start to find their ground and we start to understand where they are in the standings, I think the Broncos and Texans is a relatively interesting game, especially with the Texans kind of getting their stride back a little bit after suffering some injuries and a tough defense earlier in the season. So I think that's an interesting game. Obviously, spoke about it earlier briefly in the parlay. Probably going to be the best game of the weekend, maybe one of the best games of the year. It always seems to be AFC rivalry showdown between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. I mean, it's always one of the most fun games of the year between Mahomes and Allen. So, guys, expect anything different out of this game this weekend? Points, just a lot of points.
Yep. An absolute showdown.
Rashee Rice is really good at football.
Mm-hmm. He's a good football player.
And they have just decided that Rashee Rice is going to score a touchdown.
Yeah,
every week,
which is
they're drawing up wildcat snaps for him in the last game. Like they want to get him the ball. So
Rashee Rice is what I thought Xavier Worthy would be.
Great take.
I don't think that's a great take. We kind of always knew that Xavier Worthy was going to be a stretch the field kind of player, not a
I thought he
find the soft spot in the zone and sit there Rashee Rice kind of player.
Yeah, that's kind of the Travis Kelce role that Rice is taking over.
Yes,
almost. And then also want to speak about the Monday night game, which is actually the sicko game of the week. The Arizona Cardinals visiting the Dallas Cowboys. That is a terrible game. So
track meet.
Kyler might be back. Although I think with Jacoby Brissett, I feel like the Cardinals still throw for like 400 yards. So,
yeah. And then the last thing of the podcast, gentlemen, we would be remiss not to mention the World Series. The Toronto Blue Jays, they're not rolling over. They don't care what your no salary cap. They don't care about how much you're paying your players, Dodgers, because they've tied it up 2-2 here. Some great performances, obviously, from Guerrero and the like. But yeah, it's actually been a very entertaining series. Obviously, you had Game 3 go to 18 innings for almost a 7-hour game. Just Freddie Freeman walked it off with a homer, thankfully. Thankfully ended it tied for the longest game of World Series history with the Red Sox and Dodgers back in the 2018 World Series. This has been a pretty fun series. I've enjoyed watching it. How about you guys?
Yeah, it has been. And as of recording, the Blue Jays are up again 3-1 mid-5 in Game 5.
Is this a fight for baseball? For traditional baseball?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is the world against the Dodgers right now. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, I cannot imagine, like an impartial baseball fan, I can't see you rooting for the Dodgers here.
Which is also funny because they're the only. You say it's like a fight for baseball. They're the only non-American team, which I think is pretty funny.
Fighting for America's pastime.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've talked a lot that we think, baseball is going to look pretty seriously about putting in a salary cap and maybe a salary floor. If the Blue Jays win, maybe you don't
talk
need
stall.
it. I don't know.
But that
So-
like concerns me though.
So are the Blue Jays actually screwing baseball by winning?
Good question.
Much
That's
to
a
think
good
about.
question.
Much to think about.
Much to think
I
about.
don't know, but Shohei Ohtani's the best player of all time. I think we can just get that.
Did you see how excited he was after the 18-inning game? Like, you're starting tomorrow, right? He's like jumping up and down, like practicing his windup after playing 18 innings.
Crazy.
And they said something about like their starting pitcher tomorrow was on base 7 times in that game, which is just a weird thing to say out loud.
I believe it was. I thought it
It
was,
was 9.
9. My apologies.
I think he tied the record or whatever
That's
for.
insane.
It was the
It's insane.
It's insane.
the most. What was the stat? It was the most amount of times on base in a game since 1940.
So 1940, yeah. They showed like a graphic. It was like he had tied all these records. One of them was Babe Ruth. One of them was from like 1906. It was just like it was.
Bro, he got
crazy.
walked 5 straight times.
And outside of that, he was 4 for 4 with 2 home runs.
I mean, you gotta walk him.
You have to.
You have to. I don't really care.
It's absurd, man.
If you're the
He
Blue
does.
Jays, you just walk him the whole series.
Yes.
Like make
Is-
someone else beat you.
Is he as dangerous as Prime Barry Bonds right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he more dangerous?
I feel like he's more versatile. Like he can do anything.
You can put
Bonds-
him on the mound the next day.
Bonds got walked a lot more than Shohei does.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then you have Mookie, who was 1 for 8.
Yeah, he's
Big
been
stinker.
rough this
One
postseason,
1 for
not just
7.
the
My apologies.
series.
He did get walked once, but Jesus.
Yeah, he's been kind of rough this postseason. But yeah, it's definitely been a fun one to watch. I mean, yeah, I think it's interesting questions on both sides. What happens if the Dodgers win, and what happens if the Blue Jays wins in terms of like salary cap and everything like that. But it certainly is interesting. Certainly it will be. I just hope it goes 7 because I just want to watch more of this series. I think it's a lot of fun.
The crazy thing is, so last year in the playoffs, Dodgers played 16 games. Shohei only had 3 home runs. This year in 14 games, he has 8 home runs.
Yeah, no,
That's crazy. He's hot.
he's like Garcia for the Rangers a couple years back.
Yep.
Not like obviously the same player, but like that. How many home runs did Garcia have in that postseason?
So many.
It was unbelievable.
So many.
Yep. All right. Well, that wraps up our show for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Robbie, would you like to sign us out?
Absolutely. For myself, Ryan and Connor, thank you again for listening. Before we log off, I do have to do a quick ad read here. We have an ad read,
yes, I apologize.
a paid ad read here from our good friend and colleague, Zachary Choffin. Let me make sure that I have the correct wording on here for you guys.
This was a stipulation of the ad read. It had to be verbatim. So,
What are we getting paid with?
He Venmo'd me, and I took the money. So
That's
crazy
insane.
work.
did he not text it to me? I can't find it.
I thought you texted it in our
Just
group
take
chat.
his money.
Just take the money.
Don't
Just
even have
take his
to
money.
I was about to say, I thought you put it in like the
I did. Yeah.
Bros in the Berg,
Good call. Good call.
so you can scan it through there. That's so funny. It's okay. Nobody's gonna hear it because they clicked off after
it was
like,
in my everyone's been off the podcast by now, but shout out to our sponsor Zach Choffin. He just wanted to put a message out for everyone to know. This is a sponsored message from Zach Choffin that Ryan Doyle is absolutely awful at fantasy football. And Connor, the situation of the $20 I received for that is that you do have to clip that and put it on the internet. So
There's no way you got paid $20 for that. That's outrageous. This man is going to finish in the basement of our fantasy league. I'm very firm on that.
the Rage Bait.
James looks pretty bad too. But if Zach does finish the basement, we will have him on to do the Glizzy Challenge.
Oh, that's a good point. We
Yeah.
do have to. We are hosting the Glizzy Challenge. Are we getting paid for that? We getting paid for the?
I'll talk to the league. Yeah,
Okay,
someone
I
needs to be paying for the Glizzy Challenge.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's not going to be me.
It's not going to be me.
All right. So, Rob, you want to sign us out?
Yep. For myself, Ryan O'Connor, thank you again for listening. Please go like, subscribe, comment on all of our social media, unless you're an LSU fan who doesn't respond to my hate comments. Thank you once again for listening, and please gamble responsibly. See you.
See ya.